Hello everyone and welcome to this presentation on the CFA Level 1 exam for June 2014. In this presentation, we'll talk about some strategies and tips for the final month leading up to the exam. We hope that this video will help you be more productive with your study time and study smarter. We'll talk only about two things in this presentation: what to study and how to study. Let's start by looking at what to study. Let's focus on just the first two columns in this table first: topic and weight. The CFA Institute provides you with the exact weight of the different topics that you can expect to see on the exam. Right away you can tell that financial reporting and analysis, ethics, quant methods, and fixed income are the heavy weights, whereas derivatives, portfolio management, and alternative investments are fairly lightweight. Economics, equity, corporate finance are somewhere in the middle. You would want to focus on the big topics rather than spending too much time on topics that are not tested as much. A common mistake among many CFA Level 1 candidates is that they might spend too much time on topics that they personally enjoy reading or find too complicated and spend too much time mastering. Now that may not be the best strategy, because if you are spending too much time reading alternative investments or derivatives or portfolio management, they are fairly lightweight on the exam. Even if you ace these three topics and mess up on the big four, your chances of passing are not very good. The other reason to focus on the heavyweights is ethics. If your score is very close to the minimum passing score, the institute makes something called an ethics adjustment, which may increase or decrease your score depending on how well you performed on this topic. Therefore, ethics is really important. Now let's look at this third and the fourth columns as well: number of pages and efficiency. Number of pages is simply the number of pages in the curriculum devoted to these different topics, excluding any optional readings. Efficiency, the way I've computed efficiency, is simply dividing column number 3 by column number 2. And then dividing the answer by 100 to scale it down. What it tells you is that a smaller number, such as 14, is more efficient than something like 31. This means that you need to read fewer pages to get to a particular weightage in the exam. This is especially useful when two topics have the equal weight on the exam. For example, if you look at economics and equity investments, both carry 10% weightage on the exam. However, economics you need to read 544 pages, whereas equity only 291. Notice that economics by far is the most inefficient topic on this exam, and ethics at an efficiency score of 14 is the most efficient. Yet another reason to focus on ethics. Now, my efficiency methodology assumes that all the pages are of equal difficulty level. Now obviously that's not true, because if you have a background in economics, you will find that a lot easier than someone who is completely new to this topic. However, efficiency is one objective measure that you should think about. Now let's take a look at how to study these topics. In this table I have a list of do's and don'ts. Let's start with the do's first. Practice exams, 6 or more. Extremely important, because the practice problems or the practice exams help put everything together, and they focus on the topics that are important for the exam, and they give you a good sense of timing as well as stamina. It's a 6-hour exam. It's a pretty long exam, so you would want to do as many practice exams as you can. Points number 2 and 3, really important: doing end of chapter problems and the gray box examples from the CFA Institute's curriculum. These problems are created by the institute itself, so they're as close to the real thing as you can expect. The gray box examples are simply the examples that are within each chapter. The CFA Institute also provides some practice tests and mock exams. They are a useful resource, and I recommend that you try them. We already talked about focusing on the big 4 topics and thinking about the efficiency score. Taking some time off from work. Now I realize that this may not be possible for everybody because of their work commitment, and it also depends on how well prepared you are for the exam. What I did for levels 2 and 3 is I took every Friday off in the last 1 month, and I found that really helpful. Some people like to take the entire last week off. Like I said, it may not be possible for everybody, but see if you can take some time off. Memorizing the formula, really important. The exam does not allow for any cheat sheet. You're supposed to memorize everything, and if you can't recall the formula immediately on the exam, then you may run into some time trouble. Getting good sleep, this is really important in the last week before the exam. I was never able to get a good sleep the night before the exam. I made sure that I got good sleep every other night in the last week so that I had some sleep surplus built in. Let's look at some don'ts. Don't burn yourself in the last few days before the exam. When I was taking level 3, I spent about 160 hours studying just in the last month. And I remember that the last couple of days before the exam, I was feeling really exhausted. I took the last couple of days off, and that helped me relax for the exam. But I will warn you not to study so hard that you're not fresh on the exam day. Don't simply keep reading. There's over 3,000 pages in the curriculum. And by the time you read page number 1500, you forget what page number 100 was all about. That's why it's important to do some practice problems, the exams and the end of chapter problems. Get everything together. And finally, don't expect to know everything. The Institute has said that no candidate has scored a perfect on the exam, and you don't need to score perfect on the exam. It's a relative performance measurement exam. If you do several practice exams, if you do all the end of chapter problems, and if you are well rested, you will be fine. Now this brings us to an end to this presentation. We hope that you found it useful. Please let us know if you would want us to make videos on a specific topic. Thanks very much for watching, and we wish you the best of luck on the exam. Thank you.